It's 2025. It's been a minute since you've seen me sit down and talk to you. I wanted to give everybody space to really understand everything that happened last week. Last week was supposed to be a celebratory, after the holiday kind of situation. And it seems like it turned into something much greater than that. It seems like it turned into something that made us all have to recollect and remember, if you were alive, September 11, 2001. I mean, everybody knows that there are wars and rumors of wars, and it's a whole bunch of stuff going on in this country. It's a whole bunch of stuff going on all around the world. We all know this, right? But the thing that, we try, and this is all humans do this, we try to assimilate. We try to say, okay, well, it won't happen to me. People that live in New Orleans and sending love out to New Orleans, sending love out to Louisiana. But we naturally all try to assimilate. So if you live in New Orleans, and no pun intended, this is not because of the situation that happened on Bourbon Street, but it's more of you'll always assume that you can outsmart the alligator. It won't happen to me. You know what I mean? They won't get me. When you live in Alaska or any, you could be in Tennessee, you can be in the mountains. You always assume the bear is not going to get me. In California, the bear is not going to get me. I'm used to it. I lived with a whole bunch of bobcats. Didn't live with them, but they always showed up to my backyard. And I've seen videos of them attacking people. I've seen videos of coyotes jumping 12-foot fences and, getting at folks. But when I lived there, I dealt with them. I looked them in the eye and I said what I had to say. And in my mind, I was just controlling the situation. I never got attacked by none of them. And they walked close by me and all that. But I don't know. I mean, the Lord was always with me. But the natural thing that we do, I don't care where you're from, what country you're from, you're going to assimilate. Because if not, you live your life petrified. That's the alternative. To assimilate means, okay, on the cops, they bust on Tuesdays and Thursdays. On the other days, it's okay. You know what I mean? We can do what we do, hustle how we hustle, and everything's going to be all right. That's the natural thought around assimilation. So we assimilate, and it's natural. People that live in New York, this particular subway, I've caught the subway in New York. They know about the big rats. They know where the muggers are. Everybody always knows where everything is to be safe because we assimilate. But the one day that you find out you didn't know what you thought you knew, it shocks your little world. The one day that you find out the thing that you thought you knew, you didn't know, it shocks your entire world. And it leaves you distraught. It leaves some calling on the Lord. It leaves others buying more ammunition and guns. It leaves others wanting, looking, trying to discover what happened. Why did this happen? And why did it happen to me? What happened? Why did it happen? And why did it happen to me? Right after the situation in New Orleans, the situation happened in Las Vegas. FBI, CIA said it's not linked. I don't know. I mean, I know when things happen, the objective of many government officials is to keep the people calm, right? You remember when we, after 2001, September of 2001, remember? Y'all don't remember the orange and all the different colors for a threat, potential threat? When you would go to the airport, prior to September 11, 2001, it was like a movie going to the airport. Your girlfriend or your wife or your mom or whatever, they can walk all the way to your gate with you. You could take your bottle of water with you. You could take your water with you, your liquids with you, all that good stuff. Well, this particular threat, now I ain't gonna lie, Yes, he lived in Houston or Baytown. That's what they say. But the one thing that I'm noticing is nobody's coming out saying, "Oh yeah, I know him." And I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about like no rapper like Trey the Truth or anybody. I'm saying the odd thing about this is no one is coming out saying, "Hey, I went to high school with him. Yeah, we used to. Yeah, he played on the football team. He was in JROTC. Yeah, he used to date Shaniqua." Nobody's saying nothing. But on the flip side, pay attention to this. The man that took the Tesla to Trump Towers in Las Vegas did his thing. They done pulled up his family. They know his ex-girlfriend. They know he stopped talking to folks. He had got weird. He suffered from PTSD. And I'm gonna tell you, man, it's kind of like, those movies where you got Jason Bourne. Because one of my uncles was a Green Beret. Once you've done all of this whacking folks, man, you try to, discharge people honorably, give them a check or something. But man, you can't unsee what you've seen, and you can't undo what you've done. My pa used to say, man, I try nothing. I try not to take nothing that I can't give back. And lives are one of those things. You take them, you can't give them back. It's going to always be on you, man. It don't mean that every time you close your eyes, you're going to see those souls, but you're going to see them people, man. That's going to be one of the sins that just carries you. And so I don't know where they got radicalized. I don't know what the whole story is. I'm not going to get into a political thing. What I'll get into is this. If you go back in 2024 and you look at Biden, you look at North Carolina, you look at Florida, you look at all of the places that were hard hit, flooded, and probably still haven't recovered. There's some people that had some tough times in 2024. And people are looking for someone to blame. Now, should we been meddling in this war and that war and doing this? In the old days, doing whatever we were doing was probably cool, right? It's almost like throwing a rock and hiding your hand or being the author of confusion. And y'all know who it is. Just always coming to save the day, but you the one starting the stuff. You know what I mean? Well, I think a lot of people, man, they've gotten tired of it. They've gotten tired of it. And then I don't know, how these men felt when they did these horrible things, but man, if you ever find yourself in a situation where you can't hold on, you done been divorced, you're in a financial ruin, man, forgive me when I say this, but why don't you self-eject, self-excuse? Why would you go and take them innocent people that ain't done nothing to nobody? Now, I'm not saying they're innocent. I don't know their lives, but I'm saying those people didn't do anything to you. Those particular people didn't do anything to you, but you did something to them, and they're forever changed. Their families are changed. Now, every January 1st, 2nd, or whatever, they got to have a memorial now. But your name ain't going to reign. Nobody ain't thinking about you like, man, that was a noble thing. Nobody don't care that you put on some flag. You didn't. I mean, the world is becoming wiser and wicked. We got smart cars. We got drones the size of cars flying over New Jersey, and we pretended as though we didn't see them. It took the orange man to come out and actually say they know what's going on. Everybody else was pretending, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, the drones are not ours. And we don't believe y'all no more, man. we just don't. I'm sorry. We just don't. And maybe that's the reason you're going to ban TikTok. But you're going to have to do more than ban TikTok. You're going to have to ban. I want to come to you on a more regular basis. Sometimes I'm light, sometimes I'm joking, sometimes I'm just doing a TikTok live or whatever I'm doing. But I wanted to give y'all space. Man, I dealt with so many losses last year. I lost so many people. So many people are hurt. So many people are going through so much. I just gave you space. Everybody was flooding with the finesse 2 times and the hustle cartel. No, it's not a good idea to teach a little boy to gamble. I already shared my thoughts on that. It's not a good idea to teach a little boy to gamble, to teach a little boy to thug. It's a good idea to take him out that situation and show him the repercussions if he continues down that lifestyle. To show him that, hey, This is what happened to me. I don't want this to happen to you. It don't have to happen to you. You know what I mean? This is what happened to me, but it don't have to happen to you. I could applaud any man that take in any man's child and try to help him. My mother used to take in a lot of kids too. You know, that's admirable. Those are blessings, right? That's a blessing. You're not asking for anything. You're trying to help folks. But this done turned into a mess. It's 2025, man. People got real smoke out here. Real people are losing their lives every day. You just saw what happened last week. You just saw they opened fire in Austin Mall off Lakeline. Y'all don't let these folks get your spirit. The spiritual wickedness in high places, the principalities, it's all exposed. What you want to slide on somebody for? What you want to shoot in the mall for? Are we too scared to just put up our dukes, mano a mano, throw the hands to somebody fall out, or nosebleed, or quit, and just forgive and move on? Everybody got to get shot. And none of y'all ain't, in my time, and we didn't have the best time, and we are a negative influence on this generation for a fact. My generation, the gangster thugging generation. And obviously we came after the black exploitation era. But do you want to know why? See, when people think of 90s and stuff like that, they think, oh, they were just fake tough, because they listen to people like Charlemagne. But Charlemagne was doing the same thing we was doing. I read his books. He was doing the same thing. My theory on the why is simple. You've heard of Freeway Ricky Ross. When you take a whole generation, you've heard of Noriega. When you take a whole generation and the government is involved into trying to poison a people with crack cocaine. Yeah, there's the people that the movies are made about. The flashy, I had the flashy in my life too. You know what I mean? The uncles, the dad. I mean, I've told you these stories. But somebody suffers. Somebody the dope fiend in the alley. Somebody mama is the mama out there working the neck. Yeah. Some of them kids was walking around stinking for days. Pampers ain't been changed. Walking the street alone. So you see, nobody don't want to deal with the reality, but I deal with reality. A whole generation got hurt. So at the time when I was in my youth, when I was a young teen, when I was out here doing it, whatever you want to call it, man, it was the night of the living dead. Zombies everywhere. And I know what they're doing. When you look at places like Philadelphia and many other places across the United States, China or whoever it is bringing in this fentanyl that didn't exist and all of a sudden it exists in a major way. They turning it up again. We're using the music to talk about it. And we're using the prisons to lock us up. And we're using the fentanyl to whack out our people. It has long-term effects. So from the heroin generation in the late 60s through the 70s, during the black exploitation era, it had a big effect to that cocaine. It had a huge effect. And so me in 85, 86, when them shots came, I had a song about it. I said, when them Jamaicans hit the town, it destroyed my life. I don't have no beef against the Jamaicans. I've been there many times. I understand their culture now, right? But when I was a kid and watching these kids getting unalive over $5, $10 of missed delivery, man, that was hard to swallow. And I was in the Keystone Polk area. I was in Brockcliff. See, these stories, I seen these with my own eyes. This is my own personal account. I ain't heard it from nobody. I know the players. I know the guys off our page. I know the guys out of Brockcliff. I don't speak to see no evil and speak no evil. I know the OGs in the city. They all old now. But they did what they felt they had to do. But that left a stain on the city. And I'm talking about Dallas. And what happens is this spiritual wickedness in these high places, it just continues like a generational curse. Because when people think of the 90s, oh, yeah, it was tough. Those people went through, we were mentally gone. Even if, way in New York, listen to Nas' brother. I don't remember his name, excuse me. Everybody was traumatized. From California to Texas to New York, all over the United States. Because of these You want to find out about it? Google Oliver North. Yeah, yeah, man. Man. Anyway, y'all do your research, do your homework. The government brought it in, but you know that you watch Snowfall, right? That's a bit of the story. That's a bit of the Rick Ross story, but the real Rick Ross. So it wasn't about being tough; it was about survival at that time. Now, at least I can tell you this: for the most part, people were trying to get their man or get the group that did something to them. Y'all trying to get everybody and anybody, just so you could say you let that thing go. So I gave y'all space.